Okay, good morning. It is 10 o'clock, so I will call to order today's meeting of the Development Waiver Review Committee. If anybody has any mobile devices on right now, this would be a good time to turn those off. And we will get started with today's agenda, if I can find a copy of it. Our first item is voting on the minutes from the October 19th, 2021 meeting. If everyone has had a chance to take a look at those, would anyone like to make a motion?
Motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the minutes of October 19th, 2021 by Bruce Coyle and seconded by Lori Ashmore. Are there any questions? If not, at this time, I will take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There's none. The minutes are approved unanimously. I jumped ahead of myself a little bit. If everyone on the committee would turn on their microphones and introduce themselves, we'll start wherever we want to start. Go for it, George.
George Jones, Director, Paulding County Department of Transportation.
Bruce Coyle, County Engineer.
Frank Baker, County Administrator.
I am Ann Lipman, and I am the Community Development Director and Chairperson of this committee.
My name's Lori Ashmore, and I'm Director of the Water System.
Jason Phillips, County Attorney.
Thank you all. We have one case today. The Republic Development Glenn Johnson case has been forwarded to, or continued to December 21st. So our one and only case today is a stream buffer variance. It is case number 2021-15-SBV. This is located in the city of Hiram. It is application by Atwell, LLC, requesting a waiver of county buffers to install approximately 45 parking spaces with permeable pavers inside a local buffer to act as mitigation. Property is located in land lots 592, 593, and 594, District 19, Section 2. Property is located north of Windy Bagwell Parkway and Commodore Path in Hiram, and it is also located in Post 3. Is the applicant present?
He's not. We're the developer.
Okay. Yes, we do. If you would come up to the podium, present your request.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
My name's Archie Wanamaker. I'm with Crim Development, Inc. We're based out of Sandy Springs, 210 Sandy Springs Place in Atlanta. And we've currently got the property under contract and are proposing to build a tire discounters on the property. And in order to accommodate the parking that they need in order to build on the property, this is a requirement for the stream buffer variance. I know they're working on underground detention, because I think the guy that owns the property, Mark Caffrey, he owns the helicopter business behind there and has an existing pond. So a lot of moving parts, but to maximize the property and to be able to build on it, that 50-foot reduction in the buffer is required. And I think to help with the pervious surface, right? They're doing the pavers that rather than asphalt. Sorry, the engineer was supposed to be here, so I'm a little bit caught off guard. But anybody have any questions or anything we can address?
Any questions from anybody on the committee?
Yes, I know your plans are not finalized yet, and I know there's some water and sewer and force main issues
Yes,
for
sir.
some relocation that need to be worked out. And then on what was submitted by your engineer, in addition to these pavers, in addition to the under drain under the pavement, you've also shown that there is going to be a mechanical water quality device installed in a large manhole. I assume it'll be pretty big.
Yes, sir.
And then what has submitted is you are proposing about 1.47 or, almost 1.5 times normal water quality to compensate and mitigate for encroaching on the buffers.
Yes, sir.
And wanted to also understand that you know that you're in the city of Hiram. We're a recommending body, and ultimately it'll be a Hiram call on what we do. Generally, they go along with what we do. But then you also, your engineer submitted a narrative that said you may put in a mechanical device. You may. So my question is, what are you going to do? Have you finalized it as the mechanical device? Because what you've submitted, including on your original plan review, the mechanical device wasn't a may, it was this is what's happening. So I'm curious as to, are we going to get the 1.47? Or are you still working on your plans, and do you need to come back when they're more finalized?
No, I would lean towards what has been submitted and is being reviewed is what they are proposing. Period. So we're a little bit removed because the tire discounters Atwell works for tire discounters, not for Crim Development. So again, I apologize for not having all the right answers, but I know from our point of view, and from talking to them, the plans that are in right now, and I think, Bruce, you and I may have chatted about this before, about the quality, water quality, is that what has been submitted is not a may, but a yes.
Okay, because your plans also said the word may.
Okay.
And then your narrative statement from your engineer had the word may.
Okay.
So that's what, I wanted to make sure, we get this down to what it's going to be as submitted.
Correct.
And then likewise, we need to make sure the water and sewer and force main relocations don't interfere with your underground and/or your other pipes, that we can't do that now. But
Right.
I wanted to make sure you're firm on the underground, firm on the water quality device,
Yes.
and I wouldn't have an objection. Those are just my comments on what's going on.
Yeah.
Water and sewer may have additional.
Sorry.
If I may, before Ms. Ashmore continues. Sir, and forgive me, tell me your name again,
It's Archie Wanamaker.
and you represent?
I'm with Crim Development, so we are not the owners, but we have the property under contract, and tire discounters will be our tenant.
Okay. So we have nobody here from Atwell, the applicant,
That's correct.
who's the engineer making the proposal?
That's correct.
Okay.
Madam Chair, if I may, I did receive a text from our office. Did not know that it was the applicant at the time, but that he is running late, so he should be here maybe in the next 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Do we want to take a recess and perhaps wait for the engineer in case there's questions?
I would imagine, Ms. Ashmore's questions are probably going to be technical. That would probably be wise.
Yeah.
So
In
do we-
regards to
Do
relocation
we
of
need
that
a
sewer,
motion
force
to
main
take a
and all that.
recess? or-
Some conflicts.
And if we just
Okay. We'll just take a recess and
Perfect.
give your engineer a chance to arrive.
Okay, thanks.
the applicant or the applicant's representative, if you would like to, we have called this case, and if you would like to explain the need for the variance. And
Sure.
some of our team will have some questions for you.
And-
Please state your name.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
there's a sign-in sheet right
Good morning. I'm Theo Stone, project manager with Atwell, here on behalf of Tire Discounters. Office address is 1255 Lakes Parkway, Lawrenceville, Georgia, Building 100, Suite 120. Okay. So I'm sorry we got caught up in questions back there. We're here this morning to discuss a stream buffer variance request associated with the project. As most of you are aware, about a third of this site is encumbered by stream and associated buffers. Our request is for encroachment into the local buffer only, with parking, some grading, and a retaining wall. As proposed, we will not encroach into the 25-foot state waters buffer. As proposed mitigation for the encroachment, all parking within the encroachment area is proposed to be permeable pavers with an enhanced gravel base to provide water quality for those areas that are encroaching in the site. As per local requirement, we are also providing stormwater retention for the development as proposed. I think most of you are aware there is an existing pond on the adjacent parcel behind the site, but it does not account for detention for this site once it's developed. There are too many challenges and unknowns with trying to enhance the existing pond to expand the size and capacity to support our development. So we think it's in Tire Discounter's best interest to do detention standalone on this particular site, which we're proposing to do via underground pipe network. As a part of that project as well, on the downstream discharge, there will be a mechanical water quality device that will treat the water once it leaves the underground system. So as proposed, this site is actually providing almost 50% over and above the standard requirement for water quality. That's what we feel is necessary in support of our ask for the buffer encroachment.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you.
If you'll stay up there, if any of the committee members have any questions for Mr. Stone?
I had a comment. I had a comment, and I went over it earlier. Your plans say you may be installing this device, you may, and likewise your letter or your narrative you sent yesterday has the word may in it. So I was
we
wondering.
will, and we've submitted plans just to kind of parallel the technical review to get feedback, but the project will have a mechanical device downstream of the underground, and it will have the pavers with enhanced gravel base for water quality. So we can,
And
once you
ultimately, we will withhold your CO or anything on the building, and maybe your building permit. City of Hiram is going to want a maintenance agreement on both devices, your underground detention and your mechanical water quality device, and on your permeable pavers. There'll be Blue Book criteria and or manufacturer's owner's manuals on what to do. But the City of Hiram is going to expect those executed agreements by the owners, and they will likewise need to be filed and copies provided to the city. I also understand there's some water and sewer and force main relocation that's going to occur. Wanted to make sure that relocation wasn't going to interfere with the storm system that you proposed.
It will not. What we're proposing to do, Bruce, is there is an existing force main that bisects the site. It would be encumbered by the proposed building. What we're proposing to do is relocate it and place it on what would be the Page West side of the site, in between the parking lot and the existing access point coming in off of Windy Bagwell, and route it and reconnect it within the site, but along the Windy Bagwell frontage.
Okay, and I know Water and Sewer has some question and comments.
I'd like to just say, the development waiver review item is limited to the impervious encroachment, the impervious pavement encroachment into the buffer.
Correct.
It does not address any of the water and sewer requirements to eliminate conflicts that are discovered during
Technical
plan
review.
review. There is one conflict. I can't see all the pipes on the maps you've submitted, but there is one conflict that I'd like to ask what your intention is.
Sure.
There is a sewer line that crosses from 278 to the eastern property line. And it appears to go either over or under your retention pond.
It will be underneath. That is an existing sewer line that crosses the site today. It's not contained within an easement. That's one of the things as a part of the technical review that my client will want to get cleaned up. There are easements in place, but the infrastructure that is on site is not contained within the said easements. That'll be part of our task, I guess, in conjunction with the county to get that resolved. But to answer your question, the underground system will be above the existing sewer. There will be standard clearances of at least 18 inches. I think it's actually closer to 2 feet between the two.
We will have to discuss maintenance access.
Okay.
Because at this point, I can't be digging through your underground pond to get to a sewer line.
And the force main relocation, you're going to need a air and vacuum release valve at the high point. I assume you're going to
Correct.
draw profiles, and that gravity sewer might need to be changed to duct align with that load on top of it. We don't know, but that's what I was wondering. Those details, water and sewer details need to be worked out so that
I agree.
for sure we're going to.
From our standpoint, if we can't get the variance, the rest of it's moot. The project won't move forward if we can't do that. So, but we are, as it relates to the technical items, ideally we get a favorable recommendation or vote this morning for this, then we'll be able to tackle and collaborate on how we resolve those other questions.
Does anyone else on the committee have any questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay.
As previously noted, this project is located within the city of Hiram. I believe, Mr. McGrady, we have a representative. Just want to give you the opportunity if there's anything you'd like to state to the committee.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Cliff McGrady, zoning administrator for the city of Hiram. I guess a bunch of the questions, my thunder has been taken. And some of the questions we asked before we came back in session. But the one main thing is for the water quality device and anything having to do with water quality, we want it recorded to the deed prior to CO, even if possible prior to a LDP being issued. We have examples. We've had some of the newer businesses come into our city, Taco Mac, Burlington Coat Factory, Chipotle, Advanced Auto, and Woodstock Furniture, where we've asked for this to make sure the ambiguous verbiage does not remain, and that especially with the pervious surface, that a maintenance agreement comes along with that, the underwater and the water quality device. Again, some of the things that were already asked for, but we'd like it recorded to the deed as possible, as early as before the land disturbance permit is issued, if not definitely as a stopgap before the CO is issued.
Okay, thank you very much for that. This is a public hearing, and at this time, I would ask if there is anyone who would like to speak on behalf of the application. If they would like to come speak. Give it a few seconds. If there is no one else who would like to speak on behalf of the application, at this time, is there anyone who is wishing to express opposition, questions, concerns regarding this application? If you'd like to come up and speak. If there is no one else, we will close the public comment portion of this. I will ask the members of the committee if there are any questions or discussions from anyone at this time. If there are not, I will call for a vote, and I will just, since we've had a break, just a reminder to everyone that we are considering requesting a waiver of county buffers to install approximately 45 parking spaces with permeable pavers inside the local buffer to act as mitigation. Would anyone like to make a motion at this time?
I make a motion, we approve the application as submitted with mechanical devices and maintenance agreement.
Just to clarify, Mr. Coyle, is that an approved stormwater maintenance agreement recorded in the deed records?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have a motion to approve with some stipulations from Mr. Coyle. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a second from Mr. Jones. Is there any discussion at this time? If not, we have a motion on the floor to approve with adding, Bruce, could you restate what your additions are?
The mechanical water quality device is not an option, it's required, and likewise, maintenance agreement must be completed, signed by the new owners, and recorded with the deed on that property.
Thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Question?
Oh, no, no, sir. Can we are past the point of questions, I'm sorry. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion is nay. Okay. Motion carries by a vote of 4-1. That is our only agenda item today. I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll second that. All in favor of adjourning signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.